There's just a little fun video that I wanted to make. It was an idea that popped up into my head, and I was like, let's just do it. So I'm gonna rank my personal tier list on the best anime that I've watched, and it's kind of a vague, sort of title. Basically, I'm just gonna be ranking the anime that I've watched, the entire way. I'm not gonna rank like, oh, I watched season one, but there's four seasons, right? I like the first season, but then like I kind of like that. If it was like that, then I would probably rank a bunch of animes that I've watched clips from, that I've watched, certain fights from. But I can't give a full, just like, I want to give a disclaimer. I want to be, I want to give credit to the people who made the anime and not just be, not praise it for thinking that it's really good when I haven't seen the entire thing and, maybe it's not as good or maybe it's maybe it's underrated because I don't know what the story is, etc. Right? So the anime I'm just gonna list right here, you can see them right here. These are all the animes that I've seen, from season one, season two, whatever, right? From just the entire story. I'm not an expert, It's not like I read the manga and I know everything, but I know enough to understand the story and really dive into, the main themes and everything. So without further ado, let's just get into it. So the first anime I'm gonna rank is gonna be My Hero Academia. This one is gonna go in A tier. Now, the reasoning for me saying it's A tier, a lot of people could say it's S tier, a lot of people could say it's, B tier, maybe even D tier. I really enjoyed it. I loved, and I think for everyone who is, sort of kind of my age, right? This was one of my first anime that I've ever watched. It was the anime that really introduced me, and I would say a lot of people to the artwork, to the manga world, to the anime world. It was my first introduction, and the story I watched the final season just recently. It was a banger. It was an absolute, just an incredible anime. The animation was awesome, and the entire tone. Some of the best characters, some of the best themes were, given to us. It was a great anime. The second one here is going to be like I think you all know where this is going to go. This is S tier. The themes, the story, the concept of it was just so. I remember watching season three. That is one of the greatest seasons ever. People are gonna call me a larper for this. I forgot what it's called. It's when they went back to Aaron's village, and I forgot what arc it's called. But that with like the beast time, like they surrounded the walls and all that stuff. In my opinion, one of the greatest anime seasons I've ever seen. And the story is incredible. The themes, the storyline, the emotions, the character, the world building. The best anime I've ever seen up to date, I think, in my opinion. And for a lot of people, that's probably the case too. S tier easily. Next one's gonna be Demon Slayer. This one is gonna go in A tier. Now, a lot of people are gonna be like, "Oh, he only likes the animation and stuff." I really do like the characters. I like the storyline. It's not the most complex, nor is it the most emotionally impacting story ever told, but it's a decent one enough to the point where you understand what's going on, you know what the goal is, and the animation is what just it's the cherry on top. And more so, it's probably the entire cake. The cherry on top is the actual, voice acting, it's the coordination, it's the directing. It's just an incredible anime, and with it having a trilogy of movies coming out, everyone's hyped for it. Even people who haven't even seen, or aren't even too familiar with anime can go in and just know what the hype is about. The story is amazing. The characters are very interesting, and the power system too. It's not very complex, and it's not thought out too much, but it's decent enough to the point where the fights are amazing. And again, the animation, I just keep complimenting it. It's a great anime. So next one is going to be Jujutsu Kaisen. This one is going to be also in A tier. Great animation, great story, and you guys are going to call me a loser. Just say I'm a loser for this. My favorite character, at least my current favorite character, is in this anime, and I'm not gonna say. Well, you could maybe try and guess who it is, but it's one of my favorite characters is in this anime. The animation is superb. The storyline is amazing. And while it didn't have, I'm not gonna go much too into manga and all that stuff. Did it have potential to have a very, complete world building and everything? Absolutely. But I think that's kind of the point that the author was trying to make and making it, mysterious. Curses aren't something that normal person can see. It's only curse users. So him making the story and world building kind of vague. Maybe that was a plot point, or maybe that was just him being lazy. But I think the animation studio Mappa is doing a really good job with the content that it's been given, and it's incredible. It's an incredible. a show, and I can't wait to see season 4 that's coming out next year. The next one is going to be, I know it's a movie, it's not, you could say it doesn't count, but it's going to be Suzume. This one is going to go in B tier. I love the animation. It was a beautifully stunning animated movie. For me though, I enjoyed the story, but I didn't like it as much just because of the plot points of like, okay, it's a cool, the powers and all that stuff, and it's a cool concept. For me, I just didn't see too much. Maybe I just didn't see the appeal of it when it comes down to the relationship that both the main character and the side character had. It was cool to see that sort of become more complex and everything, but for me, it's just something which didn't really appeal to me, so it's in B tier. Next one is going to be Dandadan. This one is A tier, I think, and I was about to put this in S tier. I'm not going to, just because for obvious reasons it's not going to appeal to everyone, and for me it didn't for some time until I kind of committed to it and I saw season 2 and everything, and it was peak. There are some sort. It's a weird anime, right? But I think going forward, again, I'm not going to go into manga spoilers or anything, but going forward into the art and people who know what the next arcs are, season 3, season 4, season 5 is going to be. It's just peak back to back peak. It was the first anime that introduced me to maybe I should get some more information, or if I'm interested enough, I went into the manga and saw what the next steps were, and I just found it amazing. So this is going to A tier, and I think once the latter seasons are going to be animated, easily it's going to be S tier. But for now, it's going to stay in A tier. Next one is going to be Solo Leveling, and this one is going to be in B tier. And again, it's an same thing as Suzume. It has amazing animation. The character is pretty much, I think, carried when it came to the word aura and all that stuff, and aura farming and all that. It was super hyped up. I really enjoyed. Well, season 1 was it was the precursor and everything, and then season 2 was like, okay, maybe it's getting real. For me again, same thing with Dandadan. How the next seasons are going to go into S tier. Same thing. The next seasons are going to push it into A tier, but again, for now, it's just going to stay in B tier. Animation is amazing. Complex storyline. I know people clown on it. It's not the worst story. It kind of sits with Demon Slayer, and like, there's not really enough story or anything, but at least there's something to the point where we understand that it's not about the story. It's just this person just being awesome. And that's something that I think we lost. Next is going to be Apothecary Diaries. This one is going to go actually also in B tier for me. Now, me personally, I know a lot of people. It's an amazing anime, one of the greatest main protagonists. For me, though, it's not an anime where I could go back and rewatch it. I could, but I think it's something where it's a cool anime and everything like that, but maybe I just have, different preferences when it comes to it. It's interesting. It has story, it has world building, and it's very cool when it comes to the historical accuracy of, China and all that stuff. But for me personally, I don't see myself rewatching it. I enjoyed it, not as much as the other ones. So the next one is going to be My Dress Up Darling. And look, I didn't watch this anime for the obvious, reasons of people could say, oh, this guy's, right? I watched it on a whim. I saw edits and I saw different POVs of a relationship that was going on, and it was a romance anime, so I found it kind of cool. However, when I watched it, I did realize it was kind of a blunder when it came to how much just how much fan service and everything it has. So for me, I enjoyed it. I do like the relationship building and everything, and it's kind of sweet. But for me, it's just anime does what anime does, right? So I'm gonna put this in B tier and no more further discussion. Next one is going to be My Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity. This one is also going to be in B tier, but it's going to be on the higher rank B tier. I enjoyed it. Personally, my favorite romance anime of 2025 when it came out. It was, wait, okay, maybe I forgot, whatever. One of the best romance animes that came out the year that it came out. I forgot. Jeez, I forgot. But I really enjoyed it. The relationship is there. I really enjoyed it. It was awesome to see just two people coming. It's a theme with romance anime. Two people coming from totally different opposites of the world, and just being able to thrive and get to know each other and being a part of their own lives, even if they're total opposites, right? And finally, the last anime, the most recent anime that I watched is an anime called Ramparts of Ice. Probably most of you guys haven't heard of it. Most of these you probably have, but this one is maybe under the radar. I think it's a Netflix only anime or something like that. But this one, surprisingly, everybody is gonna go in S tier. I really enjoyed it. I think, in my opinion, and look, I haven't watched too many romance anime, so please burn me in the comments. Say what you want. Recommend me good. recommend me, good animes, right, in your perspective. But for me, I really, really enjoyed the character development. There's basically four main characters, and I just love how human it is. It's not over the top, and it's not where it's like you get to feel who these people are. You understand what they are, who they come from, and you really see a really good romance and a really good romance between these people. It's really good. The friendship is there, the storyline is there, and it's barely on season one with 14 episodes, and season two is coming out in October, so I can't wait for that. But for me, S tier, the best romance anime I've ever seen, and to think that I almost never watched it, but I'm really glad that I did. So yeah, that's my ranking. Of course, these aren't all the animes I've watched. I've watched Fairy Tail. I've watched some One Piece. I've watched Lord of the Mysteries. I've watched yeah, some Dragon Ball Z, but I wasn't gonna rank them just because I only saw like a couple episodes and that's it. So to be a fair ranker, these are the ones that I've watched in its entirety, and I really enjoyed all of these. Some more than others, but obviously that's just my perspective. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's just a fun video that I wanted to do, and yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. I'll catch you in the next one.